It's Kat from Kat Southern Charms, back with another video. And today we're doing something I have never done before. We're going in blind and pray this works. Seriously, we're making molds. This is the first one I've ever made, and you're coming along with me to do this. List in comments, have you ever made your own mold? Tell me, if you have, what is one thing that you learned that you can share with us that would help as a little tip or a trick that will help making molds? I can tell y'all, I have put this off because, one, making molds is really expensive, for sure. Very expensive. And I'll put the cost in everything of what it costs. Husky hair. Get that off. Wow. All right. What it costs to make them for this little mold that we're making. And what we're doing this time is, y'all know when you get the tic-tac-toe board that it only comes, here's the large one from Let's Resin. It only comes with 2 of each, 2 X's, 2 O's. That is not enough to send your client, right? And it's very frustrating when you use colors or glitter and make, you know, designer X's, or like these, you make specific X's and O's. It's really hard to match the color or match the glitter so everything matches when you do your next batch if you're only making 2 at a time. So what I decided to do is make one mold that I can pour in addition to the one from Let's Resin. So I'm gonna have 5 of each in one pour. Then I don't have to worry about color matching or glitter matching or any of that. They're all gonna be the same. So first things first, when you make a mold, I am using Let's Resin silicone rubber. And I'm gonna turn it this way so you can see. This is what I'm using, okay? And you'll see the rating is a 20A. That determines how tough or flimsy. I know y'all seen those molds that like collect everything, every little hair, every little fiber, every little piece of glitter, and they're super squishy and flexible. Those are going to be at the lower end, lower numbered, where this is at the higher end, the 20A. That means it's going to have a little more stiffness. Like this is stiff, right? It's not that squishy kind of silicone. That's what I wanted. And here's the cute little bottles. They're so adorable, y'all. I love them. Anyway, comes in the little bottles, 18 ounces in each jug, or about 500 grams per jug. And I had to use my math brain. I had to do a lot of math to figure this out. But for me, I did my measurements with the Omni resin calculator. So we'll start out with basics. I measured with my tape measure. So I measured inside the diameter that I'm going to be pouring and how deep these letters are, the X's are, how deep they are. They're about 3/4 of an inch. They're not quite an inch. So I'm going to pour, well, I'm sorry. They're about 1/2 inch deep, the depth, thick. So I'm going to pour 3/4. That's what I calculated on. So 3/4 is my depth to give that extra little cushion so the bottom of your mold is not super thin that you can easily poke through it. We don't want that. So I gave myself some extra leeway. So I'm pouring 3/4 of an inch deep or thick. And I did my inside parameter, which is 6 inches by 6 inches, which give me 15 fluid ounces of silicone that I need to make my resin. But before we get to that, I used resin tape to seal the bottom of my forms. And I have gone around and made sure that they are well adhered. I use my spatula to make sure that they're adhered very well. And I want to put this on a flat surface. You see my mat here has these little indents and rises in them. I don't want to put this directly on anything like that because the silicone gravity is going to pull it down, and that's what's going to create the mold, right? But I don't want to have my mold with these little slash marks in them. So I put it on a sturdy, firm surface. I've checked to make sure it's level because remember I've told you guys lately, a lot of people have been complaining that their pieces aren't level, and it's not the piece, it's actually their mold that wasn't level. So we got to get going on this. I can't let this sit too long. So what I did is I made sure this is all level, pressed down. We used our resin tape to secure. And now the bottom of this is going to be, I want the flattest side. I don't want the domed side. I want the flat side up because this is going to be the bottom of our mold, right? So I want to press down like so. How did I do this? Reconfigure this like that. And then our other X. Want the flat side up like so, and I'm pressing it down. Our O. I'm trying to, there we go. Flat side down. And I want to have clearance at the top and clearance on the sides so that silicone can, you know, we have that buffer around it so it's not all running together. There we go. Now, everything is pressed down really good. And this is another reason you want a good solid bottom to pour in. Now, I've been stirring this and I'm letting it sit. Oh, y'all. Are you ready? I'm not ready. I'm so scared. Y'all, comment right now. Give me some encouraging words. Do you think this is going to work? Let's hope so. In fact, ooh, don't want to pick that up. All right. Let's start pouring. Woohoo! Want to make sure that we cover all of our areas. Every little bit gets covered. There, this is really, the prep work is what really goes into this, you know. So, like I said, I had to use my math brain. This you measure by weight, and there's 209 grams. And it tells you on the bottle there's 18 ounces. I knew that I needed 15 in total. I know this is going to be very confusing, and I'm sorry, but You take the 15 total, means you need 7.5 ounces out of each bottle, right? There's 18 in each bottle. So I divided, and I'll put the equation up for you guys so you can just fill it in. I'll put a blank one and tell you where to plug your numbers so you can figure it out too. All right. Everything is poured. Let's wipe our stick. We're gonna wipe everything down so it's ready to use again. My handy dandy trash. All right. We're gonna throw our cup away in our trash. All right. So, you gotta let it sit, y'all. That's enough clearance at the bottom of these. Not leaking, everything is good. And it really does matter that you use a squeegee, or, you know, you can even use the side of a stick to make sure that all of your resin tape is really good and stuck to your forms. The forms go together really easy. Never used those before. They connect. There's an opening, and then there's a male side, and you slide it in, and you use these little cute baby paper clips, and you clip it to hold those together, and you repeat until you form the size that you need. And how do you know what size you need? Just do a simple layout of what you want to pour a mold of, right? And then, where's my little lighter? We're gonna do that. All right. Now, we have to let it sit, y'all. That's it. We're done. Everything is still level, so we're good. Everything is still level. So make sure you keep your, remember I told you, keep a level at your work area because it comes in handy. Same thing with a tape measure. Those are some pro tips. Keep those handy. I use the Omni resin calculator to figure out how much I needed for this area. I plugged all the numbers in, how thick I wanted it, the 6x6. It gave me 14.96 ounces. I'll put a screenshot of that here. And then I divided, like we do with resin, whatever the total number you need, you divide in half because you have two different jugs, right? So I did that, and there's 18 ounces per jug. So what I did is I took the 7.5 ounces, since we need 15. So I would need 7.5 of this, 7.5 of this. But remember, you measure by weight. And it also tells you in parentheses that there's 510 grams per jug. So there you go. So I took 7.5, divided it by 18. That gave me 41% of this jug is what I would have to use to get the 7.5 ounces. So then I just multiplied 510 grams by 41%, and that gave me 209 grams. So I needed 209 grams from each bottle, and that's what you saw poured in my cup. So that is all good. Bubbles are releasing, and I've never used, sorry for reaching, but I want my good. Oh, locked it. I have never used, oh, well, there you go. All right, I'm gonna leave it alone. Just gonna let it set. Let it release bubbles on its own. Let's Resin's very good about doing that. So we just have to let it sit now, y'all. Hopefully it's done. And I don't remember. Let me double check. Y'all know Let's Resin stuff comes with these wonderful manuals. Curing time. 4 hours. So it gives you a chart here in their little manual. And I said I wasn't going to do that. I was going to do it this way. So it gives you a chart and it tells you here's the thickness or the resistance of the silicone. 0 is that really squishy, like marshmallow type silicone that I can't stand. It picks up everything. I hate them. And 30 is really stiff. And you hear when you take out your pieces from that type mold. That's 30. We're working with 20. So it's between these two. And of course you see it's translucent. It is not colored, where the 30 is blue. But it says our working time with this is 40 minutes, which is great. I love a long work time. And then our curing time, 4 hours. So that puts us after lunchtime today. So we'll see. We shall see. But when you get a Let's Resin silicone or mold making kit, you get step-by-step instructions on how to do everything. They're very good. Even how to troubleshoot. Frequently asked questions. They have those too. So it all comes in this really cute, beautiful manual. And these adorable baby bottles. But we'll see. And at the end of the video, I will calculate how much it actually cost me to make this silicone mold. And if this is something that you're interested in making molds and selling them, let's determine if it's cost effective compared to the price of molds we can get from somewhere else. So we'll figure all that out in the next clip when we take this out, remove it from the form, let everything, I'm just gonna let it go right now. I'm gonna be Elsa, let it go. Y'all don't wanna hear me singing. So get rid of my handy dandy gloves. And we'll see you guys back here in a little over 4 hours. See you then. Cross your fingers, your eyes, your legs, everything. Let's hope this works out, y'all. Fingers crossed. Go comment right now before we get to the next phase. Do you think this works? Do you think it's good? I'm really nervous about it. See you in a few. Hey, y'all. We're back. We're done. So we had a little leakage, not a lot though. So the first step that we want to do is take this tape off. Ugh. Goodbye, resin tape. Put it in our handy dandy trash. Go to our next layer. All right. Oof. Let go. We say that a lot, I think. There we go. Ooh, it's different than X's, isn't it? And I don't mean my ex lives in Texas. So let's get rid of that. Let's go on down to the next piece. Now, there we go. There. And lastly, there we go. All right. We have some tape residue on here. Get this tape out of the way. We do have some tape Well, maybe. Can't really tell. All right, so let's start pulling our clips, and I want a little cup to put these pieces in. Start pulling our clips off. Ta-da! Y'all, are you excited to see how this works? I sure am. All right. Pull our clips. Want to get all of them done. Whoa. Remember, this is the first one. Never made a mold before. If you've made a mold, tell me, how did your first one go? Let's see. Oh, there we go. Look at that, y'all. Coming off pretty easy. All right, stay. There. A little piece of trim. Take those off. Look at that. That's pretty good, y'all. I'm impressed. And it's a little sticky still. Some of that is, we have we've got a few little pieces of trim up. No biggie. And we can just really pull them off. Or I can come back. Remember, I told y'all, one of my pro tips was get yourself a good pair of fabric shears. It is worth it to have for resin. Look, I am really impressed. Now, I'm just gonna pop out. Look at that, y'all. Look at that. So, we'll get another cup to put our pieces in. Look, we have this we need to trim up here. No biggie. There we go. Look, y'all, I am so excited. Look at that. Oh, wow. And this, this is where some of this leaked under. But we can trim that up easy. But there's our finished mold. Y'all, and it's thick. That is superb. We have a little air bubble there. Look. Y'all, I am so excited. Success. Look at that. Now, I told y'all I was going to add everything up, and we would, you know, if you wanted to make molds and all that kind of stuff. And you got to remember, these are thicker pieces to go in our board, right? So this is less Resin's large tic-tac-toe mold. And you see it only comes with 2 of each. That's why we made this mold. Because you pour your 2 with your glitter, or you poured it here, or maybe you colored them. But you only get 2 out of the mold, and that's it. So we made a mold so we can pour 4 additional to the 2 we already have, without having to stress and worry about color matching, because you can only do 2 at a time. So you pour those 2, you got to wait for it to cure. Then you got to mix up some more resin, and you got to hope and pray that it's consistent and similar to what you made your first 2. Well, this takes all of that out. Ooh, there's a little, maybe that's from where I put my tape. but that's all right because I do want to check. And my mold is level. That is the main thing I wanted to make sure. Y'all saw I checked it before I poured my silicone in because I wanted to make sure that my mold, when it came out, is level. And I have my forms, and this is how they go together. You can see the smooth side, so you keep that consistent. The opening on the outside. This is what's going to be the inside. So you can't put male to male. So this will go on this side. And it just slides in the little slot, like so. And then you put a clip to hold these two pieces together, like so. And that's how forms work. Very, very easy. And that's all there is to it, y'all. Now, I told you I would put together a formula for you. That will be at the end of the video. I'll have a blank page that you can stop, you can screenshot. If you want, y'all can email me if you leave a tip. Whatever. If you feel like you've gotten stuff out of this and it's, you know, saving you money, making your own molds, and you can make them for what you want. Say there's a coin or a pendant that's been passed down in your family and you want to make it. You can make just a little square mold, like so, one here, and you can make just a little mold. Or you can take the lid of something, say you have a screw-on lid for a mason jar. Just use that as an example. You can use the mason jar lid as your form. Put your piece face up, facing where you're going to pour the resin on top. That will be the bottom for your resin. So when you put it face up and you pour your silicone, this is the bottom, right? So face up makes this first in your mold. That's what's going to give the mold the impression. So if you have something that has a lot of detail to it, excuse me, like an antique brooch or a necklace or maybe a cross or something that's sentimental and given to you, and you want to keep and you want to be able to make duplicates of that, you can do that in just any kind of lid that you have. And you put whatever you want to be the bottom or imprinted in your mold facing upward. When you pour your silicone, gravity pulls the silicone down and picks up all those little pieces, the intricate details. So you have all the details covered. But y'all, I am so impressed. Now our next test is going to be, I have to trim this up, and then I want to pour some resin in here, let it cure, and see how that goes. So for now, this is how you make it. In another video, I'm gonna show you how to use it. I am super excited. If this helped you, leave me a comment below. What was one thing that you learned you didn't know? Did this give you more confidence to try it yourself now? Tell me, do you have any questions for me that I can answer? Or if I don't know the answer, I can look up for you and get back to you. But comment below, what do you think? Are you going to try it? Gosh, I have more things I really want to mold. Something I've been really wanting to do, I have some little dog knickknacks that I've really been wanting to make a mold out of. And I can actually pour my silicone in a cup, place that down so I have a 3D image. That's something I'll have to try, y'all. This has given me a lot of ideas. What would you use this to make? Comment below. What do you want to make a mold out of? Anyway, until next time, y'all, make sure you do all the YouTubey things so you don't miss when we try this mold out to see if it actually works now. Anyway, click that bell so you don't miss when I upload it. Until next time, y'all, happy arting. Ta-ta for now.